Today's video is something that I've struggled with all my life, and something that maybe you've struggled with too. The undying question: why are we all slaves? Now, I don't expect I'll give you what you would see as a typical answer to this question, and I'm open to any critique that you may want to give me. Why are we slaves? Why are we repressed, oppressed, suppressed, oppressed? Why is it that the help that we're given never seems sufficient? We are not sick in this world made for an ordinary life. You see, those of us who have the fortunate displeasure to deal with struggle, to deal with what's called mental illness, what's called dysfunction, those of us who are fortunately unfortunate to deal with the abnormal adversity that is so commonplace in day-to-day life, are those seeking more than an ordinary life. Those suffering are destined for greater things than just the relief of suffering. You see, being controlled is like being pulled down, right? Except the thing in which we're pulled down upon can be related to the likeness of an elastic band. You see, we are held down because from the bottom it requires difficulty to rise up. It requires strain. It requires effort. Greater than the effort, strain, and difficulty required to rise up from the base level of homeostasis. You see, when we are pulled down, held down against our will, we have the drive to rise. And it is this drive which launches us much further than the person coasting along life may ever hope to achieve. I don't give credit to those who intentionally put others into slavery. Not at all. I think this is something to be risen up against. And I don't think it takes any encouragement for there to be enough oppression to go around. Even Mother Nature herself oppresses us. Even life itself oppresses us. If we deconstruct the oppression to the very root of it all, life is an oppression. Now, does that mean that you should go jump off a building and kill yourself? Not at all. What it means is that the oppression of life is made to launch us into the most spectacular infinity of existence that we could never comprehend. It is because of adversity that we grow, because of suppression that we expand. So, what do we do about this? Well, the main thing that we can do is come to this realization. If we come to this realization that all that oppresses us will launch us into the future that we want for ourselves, then we will realize it is not a paradigm between black and white. Perhaps it is a paradigm between ignorance and knowledge. Ignorance being that we think there's good things and bad things. knowledge being that bad things cause good things, and good things cause bad things. Contemplate the symbol of the yin-yang. Never do you see a yin-yang symbol where the black remains a small, insignificant little comma, and the white seems to expand outside of ratio. That's not how it works. All is in balance. So, if you're oppressed, if you suffer from depression, anxiety, a physical ailment, if you don't have enough money, enough food, enough water, enough friends, enough happiness, ask yourself, what could ever be enough? I want you to look at yourself right now and picture a time when your life was worse. Now reimagine the present moment in which you live right this instant, in the paradigm of how life used to be worse and how life is right now. And you will see that life right now is better than you could have ever imagined it before. Or perhaps exactly as you imagined it. So, if we're unhappy now with what we wanted in the past, when we were suffering further, and we're still not happy, then when could we ever be happy? Well, it has nothing to do with time, and it has nothing to do with progress. You see, because the universe is mental. Perspective shapes reality. If I go out into a field of snow and it's flat across the ground, what is it that makes a snowman? Do I make the snowman? No. I didn't come up with the concept of a snowman. I know of the snowman. Therefore, when I see the snow, I think, you know what? This snow looks like it would make a great snowman. And if I am inspired by the idea of making the snowman, and I have the concept in my mind of a snowman being something that can exist, then I really have no choice but to make it. Me personally, I don't need to make a snowman right now. You see, if I had never had the concept of a snowman in my mind, what would urge me to make it? Perhaps nothing but the inexhaustible expanse of childlike creativity. Do I get upset as the snow touches my skin? As the cold invades my hands? Is it a battle between me and nature? No. I am nature. I am the camera in which I gaze into. Because if it were not for the camera, then what I'm doing right now would cease to exist. I'd simply be a person talking to myself. And I don't think that's something I would do. And the camera, just as I am, is but an intermediary between not just me and you, but the ideas in my head and the ideas in your head. So, is it a competition between my ideas and yours? If you are converted to my way of thinking, does that mean that I've won? No. You see, because I do not view these things as a battle. At the moment, I'm not in a state of stress. I've spent some time meditating, enjoying things that bring me pleasure, bring me energy. So I'm not motivated by the false paradigm, the battle of stress. Life is not a zero-sum game. And though the beliefs of others may be different from mine, I do not believe that for me to be strong, for me to be happy, someone else has to be weak and unhappy. I do not believe that for me to be free, someone else has to be a slave. This is a false paradigm. Poker is a zero-sum game. However, even a game of poker can be made into an infinite-sum game. If, of course, all of the participants involved see it this way. If you play poker to take from another, or while you're playing you hope not to be taken from, then you are in a competition with each other. However, if you play poker for the interplay of personalities, for the bedazzlement of chance, then it's possible that you can all enjoy the experience. And if you have a finite amount of focus, instead of focusing on the competition, focus on what you might learn. And if we all did this, then the world would be a much better place. However, we would not think of this idea if there were not a paradigm to be drawn about those who see things as a competition. So even those who see things as a competition, the world being set up in the structure of a competition, is necessary for us to contemplate the opposite of a competition: cooperation. I do not seek to be at the highest of my social circle. When I do not find a person of greater merit than I, for what is merit, then I immerse myself in the minds of others that I haven't met, through books, through the internet, through walking the streets, smiling at passers-by, through contemplating the trees, which grow much taller than I can. Do I walk around, insulted at the height of others, cutting down any tree I see that rises above my own? No. I revel in the success of others. It makes me happy. It makes me happy to see you succeed. And that's why I've made this video. Because life gives us enough oppression. Nature, the need to eat, drink, sleep, urinate, etc. We're already oppressed. The need to be awake in this complicated existence, or asleep in what for some might be as an oppressive of a nightmare. We have enough oppression in our lives because life is made of oppression. So I see no purpose to further it. That is why I'm calling you now to awaken, to cooperation, to the infinite sum game. Because if life wasn't a game, then it wouldn't be any fun, would it? Or would it? To me, whether life is a game or reality, whether it's harsh or kind, it is all interconnected. It is all worthy of existence. Some of my most traumatic, trialous times have taught me the most and brought me the most beneficence. What I've suffered from the most has taught me the most and given me the most that I enjoy today. So realize the perspective that all is good. All is good. Even that which oppresses you. For by being oppressed, you are held down by a slingshot. If you suffer from depression, from anxiety, from a physical ailment, revel in that purpose. Because if you can inspire yourself, then you can inspire anyone. And the wonderful part is, you don't even have to inspire yourself, because you are already inspired right now. Not by me, not by this video, by these ideas, but by life. Because it is the nature of the oppressed to seek freedom. So know that you are already free. Peace. Namaste. And good luck, because you already have it.